So today, as you see, the caption line along with some more lines before and after we'll be taking up as a passage. The caption line, as you see, is our lives are deeper mystery than we have dreamed. Our minds are starters in the race to God. Our souls deputed selves of the Supreme. But we will go back a little. Here we start. All is not here a blinded nature's task. A word, a wisdom watches us from on high. A witness sanctioning her will and works. An eye unseen in the unseen vast. There is an influence from a light above. There are thoughts, remote and sealed eternities. A mystic motive drives the stars and suns. In this passage from a deep unknowing force to struggling consciousness and transient breath, a mighty supernature waits on time. The world is other than we now think and see. Our lives a deeper mystery than we have dreamed. Our minds are starters in the race to God. Our souls deputed selves of the Supreme. Across the cosmic field, through narrow lanes, asking a scanty dole from fortune's hands, and garbed in beggar's robes there walks the one. So it's a beautiful passage, as you can see. Last time also we were discussing about this movement of the world from the base, that is inconscience, and it is a gradual progression as the divine takes a plunge. We discussed all these things. Today, continuing with that, we again see all is not here a blinded nature's task. That is, all here in this universe is not the activity of a blind or mechanical force, but above there is a potent, dynamic, eternal truth wisdom, which we call pragya, which presides over the whole movement, the whole progressive movement from the base of inconscience towards the destination, towards its destination, that is the superconscious. And within this movement, there is a witnessing spirit that sanctions in its very act of seeing the operations of nature. What we see as nature, which we term as lower nature, because it is in limitation, in ignorance, but eventually divine has his plan to uplift even this lower nature to his higher nature, that is the divine nature. So there are various levels on it. But this world begins its journey on an inconscient base. as we know, because of the plunge the divine takes. And it is the movement of tranced unconscious force struggling to emerge from its torpor. Last time also we discussed about it, if you remember, that it's like a somnambulism, that is a state of unconsciousness, unawareness, and from there it struggles to emerge and be first into matter, then to mind, and so on towards its destination. So eventually it is poised, the lower nature is poised to slowly evolve towards the higher, which the divine takes in its grasp. And it is that is why he again says that the world is other than we now think and see. Our lives a deeper mystery than we have dreamed. Our minds are starters in the race to God. Our souls, deputed selves of the Supreme. Now, in our present state of ignorance, what we see or what the world seems to us, it is not the whole truth at all. It might be a partial truth, but not the whole truth. Nor is our life as our mind would make it appear to be. Because mind has also its limitation. It cannot see what is behind it, what is behind the surface. It cannot see. But in fact, there is a deeper aspect of this world movement which is not apparent to the superficial look, which normally we have when we see the world around. The whole movement is a planned progression to a God state, and this is very interesting. And our minds are participants. That is why he says that our minds are starters in the race to God. In this whole movement, the planned progression to a diviner state, that is the God state, our minds are participants in this forward march. And we ourselves are not mere creatures, what we seem to be, but in our deepest parts, that is portions and emanations of the supreme creative force or spirit, whom we call the divine, is there, which projected here on earth with a distinct mission through all of us. And what is that mission? It is to manifest the glory of the divine, to make this earth, this world, divine, that is, alive divine on earth, which was earlier not thought of or perceived even, because till that time the humanity rather, was not ready. Then across the cosmic field through narrow lanes, asking a scanty dole from fortune's hands, and garbed in beggar's robes, there walks the one. The voyager in this journey has to make his way through small constricted paths, narrow paths of ignorance and obscurity also of all kinds. So he has to depend upon many outer elements for his survival. Then all these limitations, however, are only masks put on by the wayfarer. Wayfarer means the voyager. That is, each one of us on earth is taking up this journey and moving forward always. And here in Savitri, Sri Aurobindo portrays through Ashapati, who is the forerunner of the multitude, that is the whole of human race. In fact, it is Sri Aurobindo himself who is writing like this. So here Ashapati also, he has all these obscurations. Through constricted path he has to move. Even through all these limitations, behind the mask, there is this omnipotent divine who is taking up the cosmic adventure. That is, he is guiding the outer man, the outer being, towards his destined end, towards the destination, that is the divinity. But this divinity, what Sri Aurobindo speaks of, will not be to some other world which it used to be earlier, but this time it will be here itself on earth. And that is the difference which we find now. All used to talk about, when it comes to spirituality, all the sages, all the yogis used to talk about an escaping route from the earth earlier. But now, with the right time, with a few instruments being ready, Sri Aurobindo, along with the mother, has or have embodied themselves to precipitate the whole process of evolution, as we have already been discussing in earlier sessions also. So they have taken up this strenuous task, taking upon themselves the whole burden of humanity upon their shoulders, and have showed us the path. Now, unlike earlier, we do not have to do yoga, but to lay ourselves bare at their feet for them to take up our being and do whatever is necessary on the way. So this is the passage we have chosen today, and as it is always, any line, any passage in Savitri is a mantra in itself, and we all know how potent the mantra is. So let us dwell on Savitri every day with more aspiration in our heart, burning aspiration, and there will not be any, hesitation, doubts and disbeliefs which still are there in our being, which will be washed away like torrent floods of Mother and Lord's force. Then, as we have come to the end, I would also like to read something from Savitri itself. It's one of my favorite portions from book 11. O sunward, thou shalt raise the earth's soul to light and bring down God into the lives of men. Earth shall be my walk chamber and my house, my garden of life to plant a seed divine. When all thy work in human time is done, the mind of earth shall be a home of light, the life of earth, a tree growing towards heaven, the body of earth, a tabernacle of God. Awakened from the mortal's ignorance, men shall be lit with the eternal's ray, and the glory of my Son lived in their thoughts, and feel in their hearts the sweetness of my love, and in their acts my power's miraculous drive. My will shall be the meaning of their days, living for me, by me, in me, they shall live. In the heart of my creation's mystery, I'll enact the drama of thy soul, inscribe the long romance of thee and me. I'll pursue thee across the century. Thou shalt be hunted through the world by love, naked of ignorance, protecting veil, and without covert from my radiant gods. No shape shall screen thee from my divine desire. Nowhere shalt thou escape my living eyes. In the nudity of thy discovered self, in a bare identity with all that is, disrobed of thy covering of humanity, divested of the dense veil of human thought, made one with every mind and body and heart, made one with all nature and with self and God, summing in thy single soul my mystic world, I'll possess in thee my universe. The universe find all I am in thee. Thou shalt bear all things that all things may change. Thou shalt feel all with my splendor and my bliss. Thou shalt meet all with my transmuting soul. Assailed by my infinitudes above, and quivering in immensities below, pursued by me through my mind's wordless fast, oceanic with the surges of my life, a swimmer lost between two leaping seas, by my outer pains and inner sweetnesses, finding my joy in my opposite mysteries, thou shalt respond to me from every nerve. A vision shall compel thy coursing brave. Thy heart shall drive thee on the wheel of words. Thy mind shall urge thee through the flames of thought, to meet me in the abyss and on the heights, to feel me in the tempest and the calm, and love me in the noble and the vile, in beautiful things and terrible desire. The pains of hell shall be to thee my keys. The flowers of heaven persuade thee with my touch. My fiercest masks shall my attractions bring. Music shall find thee in the voice of swords. Beauty pursue thee through the core of flame. Thou shalt know me in the rolling of the spheres, and cross me in the atoms of the world. The wheeling forces of my universe shall cry to thee the summons of my name. Delight shall drop down from my nectarous moon. My fragrance seize thee in the jasmine snare. My eye shall look upon thee from the sun. Mirror of nature's secret spirit made, thou shalt reflect my hidden heart of joy. Thou shalt drink down my sweetness unalloyed in my pure lotus cup of starry bream. My grateful hands laid on thy bosom shall force thy being bathed in fiercest longing streams. Thou shalt discover the one and quivering note, and cry the harp of all my melodies, and roll my foaming wave in seas of love. Even my disaster's clutch shall be to thee the ordeal of my rapture's contrary shape. In pain's self shall smile on thee my secret face. Thou shalt bear my ruthless beauty unabridged amid the world's intolerable wrongs. Trampled by the violent misdeeds of time, cry out to the ecstasy of my rapture's touch. All beings shall be to thy life my emissaries, drawn to me on the bosom of thy friend, compelled to meet me in thy enemy's eyes. My creatures shall demand me from thy heart. Thou shalt not shrink from any brother's soul. Thou shalt be attracted helplessly to all. Men seeing thee shall feel my hands of joy. In sorrow's pangs feel steps of the world's delight. Their life experiences tumultuous shock in the mutual craving of two opposites. Hearts touched by thy love shall answer to my call. Discover the ancient music of the spheres in the revealing accents of thy voice, and nearer draw to me because thou art. Enamored of thy spirit's loveliness, they shall embrace my body in thy soul. Hear in thy life the beauty of my love. Know the thrill bliss with which I meet the worlds. All that thou hast shall be for others' bliss. All that thou art shall to my hands belong. I'll pour delight from thee as from a jar. I'll whirl thee as my chariot through the waves. I'll use thee as my sword and as my lyre. I'll play on thee my minstrelsies of thought. And when thou art vibrant with all ecstasy, and when thou livest one spirit with all things, then will I spare thee not my living fires, but make thee a channel for my timeless force. My hidden presence led thee unknowing on, from thy beginning in earth's voiceless bosom, through life and pain and time and weal and death, through outer shocks and inner silences, along the mystic roads of space and time, to the experience which all nature hides. Who hunts and sieges me, my captive grows. This shalt thou henceforth learn from thy heartbeats. Forever love, O beautiful slave of God. O lasso of my rapture's widening noose, become my cord of universal love. The spirit ensnared by thee, forced to delight of creation's oneness, sweet and fathomless, compelled to embrace my myriad unities and all my endless forms and divine souls. O mind, grow full of the eternal peace. O word, cry out the immortal litany. Built is the golden tower, the flame child born. So the flame child is born and is waiting for us to take shelter in her bosom. So that is the only thing we have to do now, just to lay bare everything at her feet, taking shelter in her bosom, and then only we'll be able to see the life divine on earth, which is not very far. Jai Ma.